Alrighty, folks, so this one will be a lot shorter than the primary weapons category because secondary weapons are incredibly sparse by comparison. Uh, so, first off, the Colt Python is like a huge favorite of everybody. This is definitely an S tier weapon just because it has a incredibly consistent 2-hit kill. It is a great weapon to put up as a secondary. You run out of ammo, you pop this out, you just delete somebody. Fantastic range, extremely high visual recoil. I guess they had to balance it somehow. Has a low round count, so you're not going to be fighting more than one person, maybe two people if you're lucky, but also a really good candidate for dual wielding, just because if you pull both triggers, you land both shots, somebody is instantly in the dirt. This gun does not have the fastest fire rate of its category, and no, it's not the ZZ75 either. This gun was balanced by a high visual recoil and a lack of ammo. I mean, realistically though, this gun is just fantastic, and speed reloader is just batshit insane. That is a crazy attachment to have on a pistol. That's just resulting in you using sleight of hand and actually fighting multiple people in succession rather than just reloading your assault rifle. Snub nose is usable, but it's going to drop the gun down to a 3 to 4 hit kill. It does make it a lot faster and a lot more mobile if you want it, if you want to make your gun inferior in style on people, I guess. It's really hard to hit shots with the snub nose barrel. I don't recommend that. The next one is going to be the RPG. Yes, I'm just doing it as the order in the bottom. The RPG is a anti-personnel launcher. That's really what it is. It is not really the most fantastic thing. It doesn't deal with kill streaks very well. Anybody with flat jacket can ignore you. Yes, it has a large blast radius, but I mean, you trade off a lot. Reloads are okay on it, I guess. It's an okay weapon. There's not any reason to use this over using an underbarrel grenade launcher, or better yet, just use a pistol if you need anti-personnel anything. I mean, it's okay. The only thing is, I just see people camp in the corner with this, and it's just like, you're gonna kill me once, and I'm gonna come back and immediately wipe the floor with you. It's just goofy behavior. Now, I'm gonna skip around here a little bit because I want to. But in terms of special weapons, the ballistic knife doesn't do anything fancy. I think one of my first YouTube videos on YouTube here is actually me going 18 and 2 with the ballistic knives. Really fun to use, really good. Well, not really good. They're a terrible secondary. But they're just really fun to use, especially if you just want to run around and stab people. I mean, that's what they do. And I love that it's the final weapon, or one of the final weapons in gun game, because you can run around and kind of piss everybody off when you're already winning. The ZZ75 is an S tier. It has consistent damage performance, 3-hit kills, 4-hit kills at further ranges, good clear sight picture, and an amazing ammo capacity. This is a really good secondary weapon to go with. You can put rapid fire on it if you want to use it with the Scorpion. It has the second highest fire rate of the pistol category. This is a fantastic weapon. It's just an all-around great weapon. There's not really a lot of negatives to say about it. It does its job extremely well in that it's an incredibly dependable pistol. Now, That being said, the best pistol in the category is actually the first you unlock. The ASP was a specially modified 1911 for super duper Oakley secretive spy things at a $2,000 price tag with night sights. I don't think you're going to want to use one in the modern day, but at the time it was a Cold War, like, if you wanted to be Stan Smith, you weren't Stan Smith unless you had this. Realistically, if you had one of these, you were superior to Stan Smith in every way. The ASP is a great weapon in game. It actually has the highest fire rate of its category. It has consistent damage, has consistent performance. It lacks ammo. I don't recommend hip firing. It aims down what is wrong with me today? It aims down sight faster than any other gun in the entire game. It has the fastest weapon swap speed, fastest sprint to fire. You can dual wield it. I just really don't recommend that. That attachment is a bad idea. You're slightly increasing time on its handling characteristics to gain a second one. And realistically, it has so little ammo that dual wielding it is not going to help you. Just really consistent support, though. And actually, let me put these in order. Next is the Strela. If you need a launcher, the Strela does it. The Strela is the launcher to use against kill streaks. It allows you to take out attack choppers by yourself. I mean, there's not really much to say. You know, it's a lock-on missile. It pretty much ruins everybody's day. You know, if you want to piss people off, this is the launcher to do it with. You know, A tier, the secondary, the M72 Law, you know, land-to-air warhead. It's a great launcher. It actually does better than the RPG in terms of, you know, being anti-personnel, but gives you the versatility of dealing with spy planes and other stuff. You know, you're just not going to take out some kill streaks by yourself unless you have Scavenger, or if you have Warlord, then in which case you might. It's a really good launcher. It's versatile. It does its job well. It's just lack of ammo that you start with is its only problem. The Makarov is a great pistol. It has great damage. It has a lack of ammo capacity. Its handling characteristics are almost as good as the ASP. It's a great pistol. In fact, there's actually not any terrible pistols in the game, except for the 1911. And now the Makarov, let me explain, is, you know, consistent in the 3-hit kill. Yes, it has a low capacity. That's its only downside. Everything else is pretty damn usable. The 1911 has 7 rounds in its magazine, true to real life. You know, 8 with 1 in the chamber, of course. The 1911 does have really good damage if you want to hip fire and use dual wield. This is actually the pistol to do it with, because dual wield 1911s absolutely demolishes people. It has a really good hip fire. Its handling characteristics leave a little bit to be desired because it's an inferior version of the ASP. It's slightly worse than the Makarov, but it's still a really good pistol. It's definitely not C tier. Another C tier weapon is the crossbow. Crossbow will not let you get rid of kill streaks. You know, you can try to use it for that. I just don't recommend it. You know, in theory, you could hit the attack chopper with it twice, but it's not a good weapon for that. You know, it can get rid of campers. It's not really a good weapon for that. The Law would be better. The RPG would be better. But at the same time, too, though, it's not unusable. If you're trying to style on people and just flex, this crossbow will let you do that. I mean, it's good for that. This is what it does. Especially if you pair it with something like the HS10 and then, sleight of hand and you just really want to go for nothing but style points and piss everybody off in the lobby. If somebody is killing you with the crossbow, it was nothing but skill. You can't even complain. It's just, it's all about style with this gun. It doesn't do anything particularly well. Its blast radius is terrible. I guess you could blow up a car and get somebody that way, or even their equipment and get somebody that way if you happen to have Hacker Pro. So that is an option. But for everything this does, like a Sentex or a C4 does the same job, but doesn't cost an entire secondary slot. Now, the China Lake is F tier. The China Lake only has 2 grenades, which is stupid because in real life, the China Lake held 4 grenades in 1 mag tube. Not that it matters, because frankly, the grenades are the same as M203, so they don't really have a large blast radius. They don't really go boom when they just don't take people out. Anybody who's moving around a lot, you're not going to kill. And anybody who has flat jacket, you're also not going to kill. And the reload, my god, the reload is fucking horrendous. You can't hip fire the gun either, by the way. You would think you'd be able to, but no. You cannot hip fire this guy. If you try to, it'll force you to aim down sights and fire. It's, even with sleight of hand, this gun is unbearable. It is hands down, actually, in my opinion, the worst gun in the entire Call of Duty franchise. I can't think of a gun that has failed me more than this gun. That being said, if you use this gun and actually kill me with it, I'm going to have an aneurysm because I just can't believe that I let this gun kill me because it is that terrible. You have a better chance killing somebody with tacticals than you do with the China Lake. It just it leaves a lot to be desired in every possible way. Even if it had 4 rounds, it still wouldn't be good. Its fire rate is tremendously bad. Its reload's bad. It struggles to destroy equipment. Because of the arc. Yeah, it's got some issues, and there's not there's nothing that this gun can do. This gun is not even good, not even in zombies. It looks cool, I guess. It has a cool history. That's the only thing I can say. Like, there's not anything good that I can say about this weapon, except for its real-life counterpart being a simplistic knockoff of a Remington 870, essentially. Yeah, no, just use something else. Unless you're really trying hard to flex on people. Even if you're trying hard to flex on people, just use the crossbow. I can't think of a reason to use the China Lake, and it amazes me whenever I see it. This is the weapon that I see the least out of any gun ever in any video game. There's not a single video game where I see this all that often. It's terrible. Without further ado, I will stop shitting on the China Lake. That is the main entirety of this video, and I'm sorry. But that gun is so bad, it's actually kind of stressing me out.